the topic today I want to talk to you about is, when is the right time to stop work? I mean, when you're pregnant with your first baby, it's a tricky one, and I've had this discussion with hundreds of women over the years, and yeah, so I'm going to give you my opinion, because at the end of the day, that's why you're here. You want my opinion on this, and I actually do. Sometimes I add on a lot of topics, I don't have a strong opinion. I think, well, you could do this or you could do that, whatever suits you, that's fine, it's all good. But sometimes I have a strong opinion, and on this one I do. And the reason is because of years and years of seeing the outcomes of women who, in my opinion, have pushed the work envelope way too far. So this is what I reckon. Part-time from 28 weeks, not working from 32. Yeah, so if you have that idea, the commonest comment that women would say when I say, well, how long are you planning to work up until? And they'll say, oh, I'm planning to stop about a month before the baby's due. Oh, so you're planning to stop at 34 weeks? No, or 33 weeks, I should say. And they're like, no, 36, 37 weeks. I'm like, no, that's when you're due. No, I'm not due. I'm due on this date. No, that's not your due date. That is your estimated 40-week gestation date, known as an EDD, estimated date of delivery. So it's not a due date. It's not a due date. It's a 40-week gestation estimation. Okay, so when you're due, you're due anytime from 37 to 42 weeks, anywhere from 37 to 42. So anything before 37 weeks is not premature, and anything after 42 weeks is, so what did I say? Anything before 37 weeks is premature, after 37 weeks is not. Anything after 42 weeks is not post-dates, it's normal. So 37 to 42 weeks is a normal time to have a baby. So when you hear women say, oh, the baby was 3 days early, probably not. Or are you saying the baby was born at 36 weeks and 4 days? Because that would be 3 days early. But if that baby was born after 37 weeks, it's not early. And if your baby is not born until 41 weeks and 3 days, which is on some research the average first baby birth date, well, that's not late. 10 days after that 40-week date is not late. That's normal. 37 to 42. Okay, so getting back to when is it right? You know, often the decisions being made as to when is it the right time to leave your work, those decisions are being made on two things. Firstly, how you're feeling at around 20 weeks when you're making those decisions, and at that stage, well, you're in the middle of the second trimester, you feel quite not too bad actually, you know, your energy levels are okay, you know, and you feel not too stressed. And at that point, you've got typically absolutely no idea, oh my God, how shattered and tired and you're going to be feeling in 8 to 12 weeks from now. Like, it's hard to comprehend, but you're going to be knackered, typically. Anyway, so as I say, the decision is usually made on how your gestation at the time when you're feeling not too bad, and also it's typically made on your paid parental leave, your maternity allowances, leave, etc. And I just don't think they need to be your number one priorities. I think what your number one priority is, when's the best time to leave for my baby's sake? And when women would say that, oh my God, you know, I'd say to them, or I'll say to you guys, you know, when are you thinking of working up until? And they'll go, occasionally, once in a blue, every so often, really, a woman will say, oh, when do you think I should be working up until? And when I hear that, it's like, yay, hallelujah. She's not thinking about her. She's thinking about the wellness of her pregnancy, and she's thinking about the wellness of her baby. That's awesome. So try and get into that headspace. Now, so why? Okay, firstly, at 28 weeks onwards, you're hitting the third trimester, you're heavy, you're uncomfortable, and you still have no comprehension at that stage even just to how much worse you're probably going to be feeling by 32 weeks, how tired and shattered you are going to be feeling. So part-time at 28 weeks is good. And I can tell you quite honestly that every single woman I've ever had who's followed those recommendations of stopping work at 28 weeks and then, part-time at 28 weeks, stopping at 32, has always said to me at around 31, 32 weeks, and she's gone, oh my God, Kathy, I'm so thrilled and wrapped and relieved that I don't have to go back to work on Monday. Like, oh my God, I had no idea how tired I'd be. I am just over it. So that's fantastic. And they know they made the right decision. But the biggest reasons I say is because I have seen such a correlation. This is not official, but I've just witnessed it. Such a correlation between women who are still working at beyond 32 weeks and premature, or actually from 28 to 32, but 32 especially onwards, a correlation of them getting serious hypertension in their pregnancy. So that is known as gestational hypertension or pregnancy-induced hypertension. And when that hypertension worsens and involves some organ dysfunction as well, so that's her liver or function or kidney dysfunction typically, then what we've got is preeclamptic toxemia, and that's getting pretty serious, and we don't want that. The great majority of women I've ever had that have got preeclamptic toxemia in the second half of their third trimester, it's been because they're still at work. And at that point, it's too late to stop work. What's the point? You've already got it. Like, well, yeah, good to stop, but we can't prevent it now. We can't reverse it now. It's there. And then also the other big thing I see, the second one out of three, is intrauterine growth restriction, or IUGR babies. So these are babies that in that third trimester start to have a concerning slowing of growth or a very serious actual halt of growth. And they're starting to fail to thrive within the womb. And sometimes it gets to the point where actually these babies need to get delivered. They're better out than in at that point. And because that woman's body is just not coping with feeding that baby in the way that it should. And then the third thing that I've seen, and I can tell you honestly that every single premature labor I've ever been involved with is a woman who's still working full-time. And I have my own theory on this. I think that her body just goes, look, I just can't cope with all of this. I can't go to work and carry a baby. So you are not stopping the work aspect, so I need to stop the pregnancy aspect. And her body just makes the decision. That, to me, is what's going on. It's the only correlation. And so often women would say, look, I'm absolutely fine, I can cope, it's not that bad. But look, your alarm is still going off at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. You're out the door at 7:30 or whatever it is, and then you're in traffic and you're at work and you're buzzing around all day, and there's really not a lot of give within society to make allowances for pregnant women. We are pretty much expected to do the same thing at work that we would normally do, pretty much. And and then it's the traffic back home, and you walk in the door and you flop onto the couch and you look at your partner and go, oh my God, you so have to make dinner tonight. I'm shattered. That's not okay. That's not okay to be in that place. So pregnancy-induced hypertension leading to preeclampsia, preterm labor of premature babies, and IUGR of growth-restricted, failing to thrive babies. That's what I see. That's what I've seen. And that's why I just want you to stop. I want you to blob. I want you to make a dent on the couch. I just want you to take it easy and just let your body focus on growing a baby. Try not to put the paid parental leave, the maternity leave as the priority. Go secondhand, everyone. Oh, man. In our days, look, I don't mean to sound on my day, but like we didn't have paid parental leave, so we were just broke. Everyone was just broke. So maybe it was just easier to make a decision because we were all broke. So whatever, surviving on one income, great. And so everything was secondhand, so please buy everything secondhand. I would way prefer that you're not at work and you buy everything secondhand. Your baby would way prefer that you're not at work and you buy everything secondhand. I don't care that the wallpaper's old and the carpet is old in the nursery, and you had this wonderful idea that you were going to have it all decorated in time, and that's going to cost a while, a bit to do. You know, just have it old, have it secondhand, and be not working. Do as much as you can. Look, I know money can sometimes be genuinely a serious issue. I'm not begrudging that. But if you've bought everything secondhand for your baby and you haven't redecorated everything to the hilt, and you haven't invested in the new car, and you haven't changed house just to have a little bit more space, if you haven't done all these things that have cost all this money, which is why you have to stay at work till late, you know, if you've just genuinely saved as much money as you can, gone without, and put your feet up earlier, it's just going to be so much better for baby. Okay, so much better. Anyway, look, I love you all, and I just want to wish you all a fantastic journey, and try and avoid all of those cascades of intervention, because when you have preeclampsia or you have a growth restricted baby, it does mean that you're going to need to be induced, and those inductions just lead to so many complications of failure to have a normal natural delivery. So now, and then of course, when we've got instrumental surgical deliveries, emergency C-sections, etc., it is just going to increase the chances of postnatal depression. It's going to increase the chances of post-traumatic stress disorder, and it reduces the chances of breastfeeding being quite so brilliant. And it's just harder because everyone's emotional, everybody's tired, and postnatal depression definitely goes up. It's just a cascade, one leads to the other. So it all goes back to just putting your feet, relaxing more at 28 weeks, putting your feet up at 32, and hopefully then, you know, you just sail through. And if you don't, you know, if you've done everything in your power to relax, what do you have to do? Relax in your pregnancy. If you've done everything in your power to do that, and things do go a little bit pear-shaped with a complication towards the end of the pregnancy or during the labor, well, you can put your hand on your heart and go, you know what, I know I did everything in my power to make that not happen. So you can rest assured. But the mother guilt is just horrendous. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. It's horrible when that woman knows she was pushing herself to the envelope. She knows she was 35 weeks. She was so shattered, so tired, but so dedicated to that job and committed to her decisions on when she was stopping work. And now she's looking at this baby in the NICU, or the special care baby unit, looking at the CPAP oxygen on its mouth and looking at the IV lines in its veins, and her mother guilt never ever goes. And I don't want to wish that upon any of you. It's just horrible for the baby, horrible for the mum. So I want to give you absolute right to say you need to be stopping work at those earlier times. It's the best thing for you. It's the best thing for your baby. So if that's what your intuition, your instinct is telling me, and I reckon it probably will be, especially by the time you get to 30 weeks, it's going to be screaming at you, telling you to do that. I just want to give you permission. That's why I'm here today. I just want to give you permission to say this is the right thing. Okay. So look, I love you all, and mwah, mwah, mwah. Wish you a wonderful, wonderful week.